Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Day sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You already know the drill on Monday, right? Here's hoping that your weekend was an absolutely fabulous one. If not, well, as we say each and every Monday, right about this time of the day, good Lord willing, you will still be here when the next one rolls our way, and you'll have the opportunity to try it all over again. We start today's show with I guess depending on how you choose to look at it, a good news, bad news scenario. If you were listening to The Exiles, and if you've been in the news loop over the weekend, you know that the pharmaceutical company Moderna announcing they've got a vaccine now for COVID-19. And I guess it was to be expected they were going to one-up Pfizer. Moderna now reporting that their vaccine in clinical trials has proven to be right at 95% effective. If you are one of those that's a stickler for numbers, Clarence, they didn't say 95%, it's 94.5% effective. Take that for what you will. That's the good news. We've got one vaccine, reportedly, with a 90% effective rate. Now a second vaccine with a 94.5% effective rate. Well, what could be the bad news, Clarence? You said it's a good news, bad news scenario. Well, I'm glad you asked that question. The go-to guy for all things coronavirus in this country, Dr. Anthony Fauci, in an interview this weekend, was asked on CNN's State of the Union. So if someone gets the vaccine and it's either version, the 90% effective or the 94.5% effective, does that mean you still need to wear a mask and observe social distancing? You already know where I'm going with this, right? Gave you the good news. Here's the bad news. According to Dr. Anthony Fauci, Jake Tapper, quote, once somebody has been immunized, once the process is complete, does that mean they can take off their mask and don't have to social distance and go about their lives as they did before? His response, Dr. Fauci, quote, I would recommend that is not the case. I would recommend you have an added area of protection. Obviously, with 90+% effective vaccine, you could feel much more confident. But I would recommend to people to not abandon all public health measures just because you've been vaccinated. He added, even though for the general population, it might be 90 to 95% effective, you don't necessarily know, for you know how effective it is. So when I get vaccinated, which I hope to when it becomes my turn to get vaccinated, I'm not going to abandon completely public health measures. I could feel more relaxed and essentially not having the stringency that we have right now. Interesting question. If, for the sake of the conversation, Pfizer or Moderna says, okay, we went back and we tweaked the vaccine, and it's now, instead of 90% effective or 94.5% effective, it's 100% effective. Do we then get to take the mask off? Do we then no longer have to social distance? There are a whole lot of people in this country, and more every single day, that are of the opinion this is all about control. When I will never forget, the very first time I put that mask on was going into a Walmart. And if you got children listening, cover their ears in 3, 2, 1. I was mad as hell. I was mad as hell. Because I'm saying to myself, are you kidding me? In the freaking United States of America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, I can't shop without putting on a mask. And of course, we have all now seen the studies regarding the effectiveness. And it's interesting that in places where masks have been strictly adhered to, we still see this resurgence of cases. So thinking people have to say to themselves, well, wait a minute, if we're all wearing masks and we're still spreading it, how effective are the masks at stopping the spread? I will leave to you to decide. But based on the comments by Dr. Fauci, may as well get used to it, son, because it's going to be around for a mighty, mighty, mighty long time. 94.5% effective rate. But Dr. Fauci says, even though you got it, you built up the antibodies, you're, quote, immune, but Marty still better put that mask on. Interesting. Interesting. It is yet another twist and turn in the coronavirus saga. It is yet another curveball in the year 2020. And I wish that I could tell you that this is all we're going to have to deal with. but I pride myself on not lying to y'all. I take that as a badge of honor, not lying to you. And if I did that, well, you could take that and flush it down the toilet. So I'm not going there. Before we get on, and today, I got a great one for you. I got a great one. For those of you that are new to the show, new to the format, on Mondays, we have a special segment that we have very lovingly entitled, Now That's Just Stupid. We've got one from Louisiana that truly, in today's world, is probably a top 5. And y'all know how stupid we've become in 2020. But this one, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Oh, by the way, speaking of things that you need to know, and this, God, if ever there was an example of how cumbersome government is, you're not going to find a better example than this. Recently, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, never even heard of these folks before, issued a new ruling that allows debt collectors to contact you using social media. Prior to now, debt collectors couldn't go to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and contact you about an outstanding debt. You would think most reasonable people, if they were going to allow this to happen, you come up with the bill, get it passed, and you simply tell people, okay, debt collectors can now contact you using social media. Well, this is the government, and it's as though they already know. All right, everybody knows 9 scariest words you can ever hear. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. This ruling from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is 653 pages long. You heard me right. For debt collectors to contact you using social media, the bill is 653 pages long. I'm going to leave that alone because I'll get in trouble. Be advised, it will kick in about 12 months' time. So don't be surprised when you get a private message on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you don't recognize that participant, and you open it up and it's like, oh crap, they found me. All right? Be advised, in about a year, debt collectors will start, if you got outstanding debt, they will be coming at you using social media. Maybe by then, you will have read all 653 pages, and you'll know what's legal and what's not. 2020, just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier. Well, got a new one for you. Let me get this break out of the way, and it's Monday, y'all. Time once again for Now That's Just Stupid. That's next on the Clarence Bugg Show. Stay close.
I owe the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Get 0.9% financing for 60 months on every new 21 Mazda, plus 90 days deferred payments during the season of inspiration at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
By all standards, he is a champion for consumers. Because of Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta, our utility rates are 35% less than the national average, the lowest in all of America. He saved ratepayers over $8 billion. Commissioner Scrametta brought us more reliable power plants and energy-efficient solar fields. Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta. Keep the commissioner who keeps our rates low.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to the Monday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, and time for dun, da, 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 da. Now that's just stupid. In today's cancel culture, I guess this one is not really all that surprising. And considering that it comes from Burbank, California, it certainly removes all of the surprise factor from it. We've seen it before. And quite frankly, I'm kind of surprised it took this long to get to Burbank, California. The Burbank Unified School District has banned from libraries and classrooms several literary classics. You already know two that's on the list, right? The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, it's tossed. To Kill a Mockingbird, it's tossed. Two others, Of Mice and Men, the John Steinbeck literary must-read, tossed as well. The K and Roll of Thunder and Hear My Cry, all tossed. In today's hypersensitive world, and of course the age of political correctness and the stamp out systemic racism culture. I'm really shocked that it took this long for a unified school district in the granola state to take this long to do this. Here's what's troublesome about this. By doing this, you remove from the purview of the school system and the classroom the opportunity to teach context. We often wonder, why is it that in 2020, after all these many years, we still struggle with issues of race? Sadly, I don't know, for the next 200 years, we probably will still continue to struggle. Because instead of taking an issue head on, giving it context, and allowing a free discussion of it, we find it's just easier to ban it. Now, it is a foregone conclusion that just because you remove a book from a school system does not mean you remove it from existence, unless, of course, that's next. Once we arrive as a society at a point where we are now banning books, the next logical step is to ban thoughts. I mean, after all, a book is simply an expression of thoughts that have been translated to paper. So don't be surprised if the push then becomes to not only take the books out of the classroom, but you shouldn't be allowed to sell the book either. And of course, if you shouldn't be allowed to sell the book, you shouldn't be allowed to read the book. And if you can't read the book, then you shouldn't be able to express the thoughts that were contained in the book. You see the progression that occurs there? I am one of those, and I understand full well, y'all. I get it. I know I'm in the minority, literally and figuratively. Ha ha, see what I did there? I understand that. But I am one that did not want Confederate statues removed. You know why? I want the opportunity with my children, hopefully one day grandchildren, to be able to point to that statue and tell them the history behind it. Not only do I want the opportunity to tell them and show them the history behind it, but I also want to be able, in clear terms, to show them how far we have come since then. We as Americans have this propensity to get stuck in the past. We have this amazing ability to only want to position ourselves in a certain point in time, conveniently and or ignorantly forgetting how far we have come since then. Without understanding where we've come from, it's literally impossible to understand or appreciate how far we've come. But what do I know? I'm just an old guy. Literary classics banned. Now that's just stupid. Now, right here in the state that I love so dearly, my beloved Louisiana, stone's throw down I-10 to Lafayette, Louisiana we go. 4 women yesterday, on a Sunday no less, 4 women go to a Dollar General store in Lafayette. They walk in, as most normal people do, get their shopping carts, proceed to go around the store and load their shopping carts up with merchandise. The 4 then proceed to the front of the store and then proceed to walk out the door without paying for said merchandise. Now, folks that work in retail all know that this happens all the time. What's interesting and stupid about this particular instance is that of the 4 women who walked into this Dollar General in Lafayette, loaded up their shopping carts, and then walked out without paying, 3 of the 4 did not have their masks on. And of course, as is the case with any Dollar General or any store of any reputation at all in America, there's high definition surveillance cameras everywhere. So there are crystal clear pictures of 3 of the 4. 1 has a mask on. 1 hour later, the same 4 women return to the same Dollar General, walk in, load up shopping carts with merchandise, and again run out without paying. 3 of the 4 still with no masks. Now, I have no way of knowing what the conversation was like among these 4 women after the first heist. I've got to imagine, after exiting the store the first time, getting to whatever their destination was, they take account of the merchandise and look around and figure out nobody followed us. At some point, I've got to imagine, one person in the group said, "You know what? They didn't even chase us. We ought to go back and do it again." Now, this is 1 hour later. Actually, I would imagine it probably happened 45 minutes later because it had to take time for them to discuss this and go back to the store. I'm trying to figure out who among the 4 is the most stupid. The one that suggested we ought to go back and do it again, or the other 3 that agreed with the first one that said we ought to go back and get some more. The same 4 go back 1 hour later to the same store and do it again. Now, you can very easily make the argument that's what happens when you don't allow employees to handle up on folks that pull this kind of crap. And the sad part, I mean, aside from the fact that they did what they did and was so stupid with it, the sad part, Dollar General will end up, when enough people do it, they're going to just raise the price of everything in the store to cover what's called pilferage, stealing. So every hardworking, decent person that goes in there to shop, they're going to have to pay more to buy what they want to buy because of idiots like this. Same store, 1 hour later. Now that's just stupid. How have we arrived at this point? I'm glad you asked that question. Got the answer for you next on the Clarence Bugg Show. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask. Wash your hands and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up. Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At Team Toyota, Toyotathon is underway. It's your chance to save during our biggest sale of the year. Get our lowest prices and our lowest payments on every new Toyota. Plus, get a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Toyota. Right now at Team Toyota.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Yep, right, regular clockwork in the background. You know, telling you about that last story out of Lafayette, the four. Got another one? Yep, there's another one. Fire truck this time. The four women that went into the Dollar General and walked out with baskets full of merchandise, only to turn around an hour later and go back to the same store and do the same thing. There was a time in this country where there were certain things that you wouldn't do. And additionally, there were certain things that you certainly wouldn't do on certain days. I mean, it is Sunday, it is the Lord's Day, and, you know, if you're going to do that, you got 6 other days out of the week to do it. You're going to do it on a Sunday? And we often wonder how it is we have arrived where we find ourselves in this country. And you know, as is the case with so many things, if we look back just a little ways, the answer is there. Paul Harvey, God bless him, penned something years ago that rings so very true today. And I thought we'd take just a moment and revisit, for those of you that are familiar with this piece, and present to those of you that are not familiar, the legendary, the incomparable Paul Harvey, If I Were the Devil.
If I were the devil. If I were the devil. If I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have 1/3 of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. Thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions, just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
Wow. I don't have in front of me the original date that aired. But I know for a fact it's got to be at least 40 years ago. 1965, Marty? So that would be 55 years ago. How prophetic. That is prophecy literally fulfilled. And when you put video with it, a masterful job, by the way, it becomes even more poignant, more hard-hitting, more real. In case you doubt the authenticity of Paul Harvey's words, well, number one, all you have to do is look around you. If you have been on this earth for any amount of time and in this country for any amount of time, it pretty much explains itself. A new poll out from CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, is as troubling as the piece from Paul Harvey. As troubling, maybe more so, because it confirms what Paul Harvey just said. Prior to Paul Harvey writing that piece and performing it on radio, generations of Americans relied on an absolute moral truth. We held up God and the Bible as an absolute moral truth. We automatically gravitated to and leaned on a higher power and a word, the Bible, to govern our lives and our interactions with others. This new poll by CBN says 58% of Americans, the folks that they polled, no longer view God and the Bible as an absolute bellwether of morality. Instead, it is up to the individual to decide what is true and what is moral. The American Worldview Inventory 2020 concluded, quote, "The belief in absolute moral truth rooted in God's Word is rapidly eroding among all American adults, whether churched or unchurched, within every political segment and within every age group." Couple of notes from this survey. Even Christians, quote unquote, fall into that category. Among conservatives, as you might imagine, there is a much higher percentage of individuals that still identify God and the Bible as being an absolute moral truth. For conservatives, 67% believe God and the Bible are an absolute moral truth. Among liberals, only 36%. And we wonder why we find ourselves where we find ourselves. Marty, I got 2 minutes left in this segment. Who do I have? Mark, my man, Mark in Denham. How are you, my friend?
How you doing, Captain?
It's still a great day to be an American.
It's funny, you and I debate all the time about your glass being half full and mine half empty.
Correct.
I used to listen to Paul Harvey as much as possible on the radio. I was 20 years old when I heard that.
Right.
And I was on leave really from active duty in the Army when I heard that come on the air.
Right.
And now, if it's possible, can you understand now why my glass is half full with what I see today?
Yeah. how does it make you feel when you look at something like what we just showed, and this was 55 years ago? I guess it shouldn't be all that surprising that we find ourselves where we find ourselves right now.
Clarence, from growing up in North Baton Rouge and also parts of South Baton Rouge, all of my junior years in life, and being raised just like you were, basically, I'm more disappointed in man abandoning his faith in his family. Because that's what's leading and has led to where we're at today, and the courts seem to back it.
Not only do they back it, many of them encourage it.
And then you turn around and you look at the news media and look at the programming on television today compared to that 55 years ago.
Disgraceful, Mark.
Well, that's why my glass is half full, and I'm so disappointed in humanity that I'm sick at my stomach.
Thank you, my friend. Good to hear from you, Mark. Mark, I understand being disappointed in humanity. And I have to understand that because I understand man. And man in and of itself is so fallible, I don't know where to start. That's why we need a Savior. And to look at where we were and where we are now, it's more clear than ever. And yet, our resolve against that is harder than ever. In case you don't know, that does not bode well for America. Got to get my final break of this hour out of the way. Marty, you only had to tap it one time. I'm not Profita and Gallagher, in case you didn't know. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on it, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Sit tight.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican, the Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private health care is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to the final segment of our Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. I need to make a correction on some numbers, and I don't relish the idea, because typically when you give individuals numbers and there is a mistake in quoting the numbers, you generally hope that you have erred in a positive fashion. Wrong answer. According to this new CBN poll, for individuals that consider themselves ideologically conservative, 62% of conservatives believe God is the basis for morality and truth. Among moderates, the number drops to 36% that believe God is the absolute basis of morality and truth. Among liberals, it drops to 26%. So you've got to ask, if only 26% of liberals believe God is the absolute basis of morality and truth, then what do they believe is the basis of morality and truth? According to this poll, 26% of liberals think God is the basis for morality and truth. 25% of them believe science, surprise, surprise, is the basis of morality and truth. 21% believe inner certainty, what I feel, is the basis of morality and truth. The remainder, they have no idea if there even is such a thing as morality and truth. If you ever find yourself asking yourself, how in the world did the United States of America end up where we are today? Well, now you know. It is such a sad commentary that, one, we have allowed ourselves to stray so far, and two, equally, if not more so than that, and it just occurred to me just now, why haven't we drawn upon the things that have brought us this far? And as I'm formulating that question in my mind, I'm saying, well, it's a pretty simple answer to that. Those that have the ability to do so are dying off every day. It's easy when one group of individuals, greatest generation, baby boomers, that have that experience to draw upon are leaving every single day. Those that have not been here long enough to amass that wealth of life experiences, and more importantly, have been indoctrinated by those who wish to lead us astray, don't. If it's hard to understand how we could end up with numbers like this, actually it's pretty simple to realize. Just go back to the piece we showed you, Paul Harvey's If I Were the Devil, and imagine if you were raised in an environment just like that. Every single morning when I talk to the God that I love, I ask him to bless us adults to be better examples to our children, and bless those of us that love him and adore him to stand boldly on his word and proclaim it to the world. Unfortunately, those that don't make a whole lot more noise than those of us that do. And in case you haven't noticed just yet, young folk are a whole lot more susceptible and a whole lot more willing to listen to the other side. When it's in the music they listen to, when it's in the movies that they watch, when it is official government policy, it's easy for them to be led astray. Which is why the word tells us to train them up in the way that they should go. So when they become old, they will not depart from it. We would do well, America, to heed that advice. And if you doubt the authenticity of that, well, I simply ask you one question. How is that working out for us right now? You're right, it's not. Which is why every single day you hear me say, you know what, you're right. I give it to you. America, we're not perfect, but doggone it, for my money, it's still the best there is. And God knows there is no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, I hope you know by now that he loves you. And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.